Welcome to our Academy program. And as everyone knows, we're going to be talking about hidden opportunities, embracing reinvention in every season of life. And I just want to say hello to all of our reinventors. And I want to start today off with a quote by the writer, Charles Bukowski. Do you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be? Somewhere along the way, between raising kids, building careers, and managing all of life's responsibilities, many of us slowly set aside the parts of us, our dreams, our ambitions, and the things that really lit us up. And I'm raising my hand, guilty as charged. We became who we needed to be for others. But now, as the seasons shift, new questions emerge. Who do we want to be in this next chapter of life? We have the opportunity to look backwards, to begin to move forward. We have the opportunity to return to our original awesome selves. So today is about meeting ourselves at the crossroads and figuring out what's next. It's about finding opportunities where we did not think they existed. It's about blue skying ideas and wondering what if. So whether you are a mom stepping into a new phase after years of caregiving or career, or both, or a dad nearing retirement and wondering what is next, or someone simply wondering, having that feel towards something more, this is your moment to reflect, reimagine, and reinvent. Because reinvention isn't just for the bold. It is for anyone willing to listen to that quiet voice inside saying, there is still more ahead and I am not done. And I'm just saying, life begins at 60. We'll leave it at that. So let's explore what's possible together in a judgment-free zone. And I also wanted to just say that being ready to try something new doesn't always mean feeling fully confident. And boy, I can totally attest to that. But it does mean being willing to step outside of your comfort zone and learn as you go. And how do you start on this journey of rediscovery? Any ideas? Okay, one tiny baby step at a time. So today, I promise you that you will realize the impressive skill set that you already have, and you will begin to kick fear and doubt to the curb and to take that very first baby step. So welcome to our safe space, and let's get reinventing. Since this winter season at Age Brilliantly is all about opportunity, I want to ask you, what does opportunity mean to you? And I want everyone's mute off. If you would like to just chime out and give an idea about, just give me a couple of words about what opportunity means to you. If anyone feels like taking that bait.
To me, I feel like it's letting go of fear and stepping into something wonderful.
Yes, 100%. Thank you for that. Anyone else?
I think it's
okay.
I think it's finding something that, you thought maybe you were interested in when you had to place it away, and now rediscovering that in a really big way.
Exactly. Thank you, Kay. Thank you. The Oxford English Dictionary says the definition of opportunity is a time, condition, or set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something. So an open window, a challenge, someplace where you can make a difference, or something you've not yet tried. So we are going to play with all of those today. And also, I'm going to point out there are times where we might miss an opportunity because it doesn't look like the way we expect it to look, like an opportunity to co-host an event, to present a keynote talk, to make a difference by being involved in a nonprofit, or even friends saying, you would be great doing a podcast. So there's another quote that I love, and it is by Rita Wilson, Tom Hanks's wife. She's now a singer, and she says, it is never too late to find out what you really want. And I also love this quote by Teddy Roosevelt, believe you can, and you are halfway there. Age Brilliantly, I think, sent out a pre-prompt, Jerry, if I'm correct, reflecting on the skills that you have built over the years. So whether you've been parenting or your career or other life experiences, one thing that I know is that you all have so many skills that you often do not even realize you possess, or how these skills can take you into your next chapter of life. And we're going to talk about all of that today. And I also want to have like an open mic platform So we are here to problem solve and have fun and blue sky together. So I'm going to ask everyone, what do you want? And I ask this because we've all been on a track, whether it's parenting or building a career or both. We are quite confident in doing the things that we've been doing for a very long time, whether it's parenting or career or both. But trying something new, that's when it can be a little tricky. And I have conversations every single week on my podcast with moms. And it is incredible what these women have been able to do. They have started nonprofits by identifying a community need. They have created companies from the ground up. They have written books that they didn't even realize were inside of them. They have followed a passion that turned into a career. They have dealt with a bitter divorce or the death of a child, and they have rebuilt from the ground up. So moms looking for their what's next and dads nearing retirement often look for second careers that align with your interests, because that makes sense, which allow flexibility and provide a sense of a renewed sense of purpose. So let's get jumping in. Okay, right here, we have a bunch of ideas, and this is a short list of ideas for possibilities and career pivots. And these are all hidden opportunities as you consider your next chapter, because all of us have all of these skills and they each can branch out into a variety of other things. Now, this is just a very short list. We're going to go over, I have about 25 or 30 other ideas to start to make you think of what is possible as I continue to reinvent, or as I start this reinvention process in my life. So, leadership roles. Every single one of us has done that, whether you've been a mom or you've been, a dad in your career, whether it's corporate, nonprofit, your kids' schools, we all have that leadership gene. And I'm just going to go through a few of them, and then I'm going to open up, and I want people to just give me your ideas. Negotiator, right up here. This is a big one because it is honed from years of mediating sibling disputes and getting kids to eat their broccoli, or virtually any career that any of us have had. And underneath negotiator, we have business and corporate roles, conflict resolution specialist, legal and advocacy work, including consumer advocates, ombudsman advocacy roles, corporate, government, consumer, healthcare, education. There's a lot out there that needs that negotiator gene. Someone I had on the podcast once said to me, and I think she's spot on, she said, I learned everything I needed to know about negotiating from negotiating with my 4-year-old. And I thought that was pretty spot on. Has anyone else had that experience with their kids, trying to get them to do something that you want them to do, and the ways that I see all the heads nodding? Yeah. Real estate and sales. You can go from a real estate agent to a contract negotiator. Let's move on to crisis management, right there in the middle. Bringing valuable real world crisis management experience, but it's just applied differently. If you were a mom, every single day was something new, and we were always pivoting because something undoubtedly would come up. And Kathleen, I see you keep nodding your head, Kay as well. And, moms already really excel in crisis management, juggling multiple schedules, unexpected emergencies, last minute changes. And this really transitions well into family or life crisis coaching, disaster relief coordination. Think of what just happened out in LA and all the people that jumped into action. That's crisis management. Corporate crisis communications, perhaps helping companies recover from financial, legal, or a PR crisis. There's emergency management roles with your local town and government. Teaching or tutoring. I mean, those are things we have all done, whether you've been in the business world or whether you've been raising kids. There's mentoring that happens, and there is teaching and tutoring with our own kids, with people in business in the working world with you. So that is a really interesting opportunity. Hi, Nick. We didn't get to say hello before. I just wanted to say hi. I'm Sharon. I think he's on mute. Okay. Another one, which I think is really interesting, family concierge. And this is a little more mom-centric, but we organize family reunions, weekend activities, that picnic basket you need in 12 hours for 25 people going on a picnic, coordinating schedules and logistics, solving last-minute problems with grace, and providing excellent customer service. There's the whole hospitality concierge industry. You could consider an up-leveled certification like Le Clef d'Or. I hope I'm saying that right. There are concierge services in corporate, in medical, in personal, like a personal skills, these skills of making arrangements, procurement, problem solving, transition really well into something like a concierge. I know a woman who was a stay-at-home mom for years. She moved to Florida. She is now the chief concierge at a senior living facility in Florida. So all of those skills that she had as a mom transitioned right into setting up events for everyone in this senior living facility. And knowing this woman, I'm like, this is so her. And that I thought that was a wonderful example of how she took her mom skills and transitioned into something else. Who loves fitness? Who works out? Anyone around here? I'll raise my hand for that. I'm really big on that. Fitness coaching. So a lot of moms, if you have, if your kids are in school and you might have more time, fitness is so important in our lives. Well, turning that passion into a personal training organization or wellness coaching, that's something that I know several women who have actually done that. Looking into like a franchise owner, invest in a proven business model in something that actually really floats your boat and that you're very interested in. But what if you like to go outside? What about exploring outdoor and active opportunities? Maybe you want to be a tour guide. Maybe you want to be a nature guide or park ranger. Maybe you're really good at golf and you want to start teaching little kids. There are so many ways to teach in the world. Who has donated time to nonprofits? Have we donated our, every one of us has done. And the beauty of going deeper into the nonprofit world, you're helping causes that you care about. You could be a volunteer coordinator. You could mentor at-risk youth and make a difference in a young life. And this is something that's very near and dear to my heart. I've been on boards and to this day, I've been involved in the same nonprofit for about 15 years and have literally watched these kids grow up. Nonprofit board members, they're always looking for people who are enthusiastic about what that nonprofit does to sit on the board and help them grow. I have a lot more, but I want to pause for a second. Has anything jogged someone's memory, or does someone have something else that I haven't even mentioned yet? In terms of thinking what a next step might be, please unmute and just share. Nothing yet? Okay, I'm going to keep going.
I want to be every one of those things that you were saying.
I know.
They sound fabulous.
There are so much more. So I've got about,
oh my gosh, those are such fabulous ideas.
So what I'm trying to do is really jog, like, sort of knock something loose in your brain, right. Sort of crack open your brain a little to go, oh, wait, that is something that I could potentially do. But there's a lot more. Okay, home organization expert. Do your closets, pantry, or garage look like the Container Store? Okay, if so, congratulations, you have a new career. You can start small with friends and grow from there. I know people who just have a passion for making the pantry look color-coded and perfect. That is a skill. And I know several women who have actually gone from doing it in their own homes to creating a business out of that. Had me at the Container Store. I just love when things are organized and looking so neat and pretty. Chef nutritionist. Okay, we have, those of us who have been moms, think of all the years that we have been making dinner every single night. And it is our job to feed our family and to nurture them in, from a food perspective. Well, that is a skill, folks. And I know people who have started catering businesses because they realized it's just a passion of theirs. And also taking that knowledge that we have learned over the years, digging into, the internet and finding out what are the healthiest foods that I can feed my family? Do I get that air fryer? Once I have it, how do I cook on it? catering businesses, certifications in nutritional counseling. There are a lot of different ways to take that innate talent that you have and move it forward into your next chapter of life. Is anyone, I know Natalie's dark, a couple of people have jumped in, Nick, if anyone has had a finance career, you can move from a finance career to a financial advisor. I know this because my brother-in-law did this. He used to be head of equities at a large bank. He wanted to retire, but all the people that he was working with said, wait a minute, we want to go with you. So he started a financial advisor business and has a robust clientele right now and has a lot of money under management. So that is another possibility. And it gives him the free time to do other things he likes to do. He's also a yoga instructor. He likes to travel. So he's able to do all those things in this next chapter of his life. For the guys who've been working, industry consultant, you can leverage decades of experience to advise businesses on the topics that you know cold. And obviously for women as well. So whatever you might have been working in, whether it's, it could be finance, it could be marketing, it could be IT, you have a skill set that other people need to know about. And you can start blogging about it. You can go into consulting. You can start mentoring younger people. There's a lot of opportunity in terms of giving back. Which leads me into something like a career coach. Again, coaching and mentoring to help younger professionals navigate their own careers. College counseling. I know moms who did it for their kids, and they did so well in getting their kids into wonderful schools that other people started asking them, hey, can my child work with you, and will you help us out? I know several people around the country who are actually doing this right now. Life coach. Do you guys know what a life coach is? Anyone? I know a couple of people are nodding their mouths. A professional who guides others through life transitions, including achieving personal or professional goals. And it's really not about giving advice. It is about helping clients identify obstacles. And you can really define your own unique niche. You can get certified with programs like the International Coaching Federation or other life coach certifications, because we all bring unique and distinct experiences that could make us excel as a life coach. I know a lot of people who have been in business who are now teaching. They become an adjunct professor or teacher. Colleges and universities or online platforms, teach that marketing course, teach how to use AI, teach financial management or creative writing. There's a lot of opportunities within that world. I'm going to go a little faster through some of these, because there's other things I want to talk about with you. We talked about teacher, tutor, math, science, business, writing for business, event and party planner. How many of us have put on an event at a school for a nonprofit, or have helped and you've raised a whole lot of money while doing so? There are people who do event and party planning, and that is their business. You call on Kathleen in Oregon because we know that Kathleen is so good at putting on events that they want to hire Kathleen to do their next nonprofit fundraiser. And again, you start small, very local, and take it from there. Freelance writer, blogger. We have this whole new online world in content creation, and sharing your expertise in your niche area for people who like to write and create content. So that is a whole other world that didn't really exist like 10 years ago. Photographer who likes to take pictures. I had interviewed a woman who spent years building her photography business slowly, and she is now an internationally highly regarded wedding photographer. She's been able to parlay that skill. Starting slowly, she started taking photographs of kids locally. Her story is kind of funny. When one of her kids was in kindergarten, her kindergarten teacher said, hey, I know you photograph families. Have you ever done a wedding? And never having done a wedding, she looks the teacher straight in the eye and says, of course I do weddings. And so that teacher hired her to do her wedding. And so Melanie was like searching, like, what do I need? What are the cameras? What are the lights? How do I do this? And she did her first wedding, never having done one before. You've got to start somewhere. You've got to take that chance and take that step, believe in yourself, and know that you can do it. I love that story actually about her. Interior design. I know a woman who did the mom thing for many years. She became a really wonderful standard ballroom dancer, which she still does, but her heart was in interior design. So she got certifications and she hung out a shingle. It's called Homebird Design in Westport, Connecticut. And she is super busy, which I think is phenomenal. And she started this business in her late 50s. I want to say she was like 58, 59 when she started this business. And she has a website, she's on Instagram. That's another possibility. E-commerce. If there's someone who has like an artistic background, you can discover your inner artist on Etsy or as a third-party seller on Amazon Marketplace. Those are opportunities to sell what you make. Etsy is a great venue. And if you actually have a physical product, being 3P, third-party seller on Amazon, create an Amazon storefront is an opportunity. If there's a guy or women, men or women do this, IT, cybersecurity consultant, you can use this really unique technical skill you have to start your own consulting business. You choose a niche like risk assessment, compliance, or incident response. Define your services, create a website, and show your expertise through blogging, LinkedIn, speaking engagements. And again, you would want to leverage certification with credentials like Certified Information Systems Security Professionals or the Certified Ethical Hacker. Again, well-respected cybersecurity certifications that will boost your credibility. Virtual assistant. I actually have a virtual assistant. I have never met her, but she helps me edit my podcast. She helps me put things up on Instagram. If you have that skill, that is something that you can do, pay it forward to other people and have them hire you as a virtual assistant. I do not have the technical skills to be a VA, but a lot of you out there do. And that is a great opportunity. Podcasting, content creation. We all have things to say. It took me a while. I'll share this a little later, but I have a podcast called Mom to More. And I realized I have a message and I created a niche that is not out there. That was my hidden opportunity. And creating the whole brand of Mom to More. We all have something to say, and there's a gazillion podcasts out there. So that might be a fun way to get your thoughts out into the public. TaskRabbit. Who likes to repair things around the house? It is discovering your inner ability to fix anything. I actually have a cousin who is a TaskRabbit. That is her next chapter in life. That is how she reinvented. She has a toolbox that's humongous. She's up on TaskRabbit and she goes around the town putting up everything from bookcases to beds. And she loves to do that. Not her husband, but her. She loves doing all of that stuff. She's got the tool belt. She knows what she's doing. A lot of people, after living in a community for a while, see everything that's wrong with it and want to fix that. That's called community leadership, perhaps getting into local politics. Maybe you do want to be on the school board. Maybe you see things that are going wrong, want to be on the board of ed, want to be, various local town positions. There's a lot of people that I know who have moved into a more political realm because they've seen enough and they want to make positive changes and impact in their local community. And I'll end up with mental health advocate. It is something that as moms, we have all done that for our kids. And as dads, you've done that as well. We have firsthand knowledge in how to help other people, and that makes you credible. You can get training or certification, life coaching, peer support, and volunteer first. Network with professionals. You can join advocacy groups. You can attend mental health conferences and connect with professors at local colleges and universities. Okay, so we're going to move on to something really fun here. I've just given you a gazillion ideas. Does anyone want to unmute and say something that might have jogged something in your head, something in your heart that you would really love to move forward with? Anyone? Okay, so we're going to keep going. To help you reinvent with confidence, I love acronyms, and I had fun with the word more. So Mom to More. And I originally created this for moms, but the reinvention process, folks, is something that everyone in this group at some point in their life is going to want to pursue. So we're going to start with M for motivation. Excuse me, motivation and momentum. Okay, we're going to start getting our engines revved. What ideas have you been mulling around? And I would love everyone to write down, and you can put it in the chat, you can write it on paper in front of you, like, 3 things that you think would be really fantastic to do, but I want you to do it with no judgment. Okay, is this, as I move this, is this moving for you guys as well? It is. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there and not move it. Sorry about that. And I want you to do this with no judgment. Think about your personal talents. What are your unique skills and your strengths? We all have so many. And think about, sort of think internally a little. Are you happier doing something solo? Does writing by yourself make you happy? Or do you get oxygen from the community? Maybe that would be something that puts you more in front of a larger group of people. Consider your passions, like what really energizes you. Do you like working with underprivileged youth? If you have finally the time, you can focus on your passion for nature or dance or tutoring or art or writing. So there's a lot of things, that passions that we put aside. I had a passion for dance. I put that aside for years. And finally, when my kids started growing up, I'm like, I'm going to go back and do dancing and go back to my dance. And I discovered Latin ballroom and I started competing and I became a national champion. So anything is possible. You just have to slowly put yourself out there. I think I've been dancing now for about 8 years. And then consider your networks, right? Think about the people that you know, someone that you could collaborate with. The power of networks is huge when it comes to a major career or a life change. I know 2 women who started a nonprofit in New Canaan, Connecticut. They were neighbors, they were friends, they were mulling around over, Chardonnay in the evening going, we need to do something more. What can we do? And they realized that they had a need right in their own community of kids who were going hungry on the weekends. So they started a nonprofit called Filling in the Blanks, where they feed kids who do not get the food that they get at school on the weekends. And I think it's absolutely brilliant what they've done. Okay, but once we have the motivation and the momentum, we need to own it. Okay, we are far more confident and competent than we care to admit. And I want you to be honest with yourself. Kathleen, as you were saying, face your insecurities and your fears. Be willing to stretch your perceived boundaries. And speaking personally, I have learned so much more from small failures than I have from small successes. But above all, I want you to own it. And I want you to say it out loud, because that is the first step of manifesting your next chapter in life. As Angelina Lombardo, the author of Spiritual Entrepreneur, says, manifesting is bringing something tangible into your life through actions, thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. And to begin with, you must be clear about your goals. You're the only one who dreams your unique dreams. So whatever it may be, know it and own it. And then write it down, because you probably don't know that the sheer act of writing something down will make it 42% more likely to be realized than if you only keep your dream in your head. And again, I want to invite people just to jump in and comment. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep rolling. If anyone wants to say something, just like unmute and say, hey, Sharon, I want to say something. Okay. Once we own it. Oh, go ahead, Jerry.
That's okay. We have a great group today. I mean, I've had the privilege of doing this now for a year, and I can tell good people and great people, this is a great group. Why don't we do the following? If I can just ask everybody to take a second, think of it. What Sharon's doing is telling you there's a zillion things you could do. And we're all blown away by how many there are. But each of us has one that maybe we'd like to do. So I'm going to ask the question in a slightly different way. And if we can start, I'm going to start on my screen on top and just let you guys just help each other do it. And we'll
Okay.
start with you, Kay, because you happen to be on top, and then from there, Kathleen will go and we'll work our way down. She asked a great question. She said, "What excites you?" It might be something that you've always wanted to do. There's a story about a guy who wanted to be a physicist. Mommy and daddy said, no, 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 you have to be a regular doctor. And at 75, he decides to apply to Brown to become a physicist. And he's now got a PhD in physics and doing it. So if you've had this dream all your life, what excites you is the question.
Yeah.
And if you're someone like me, I'm fascinated by space and AI, and that didn't exist when I was a kid. So it's a different kind of thing. So her comment a minute ago was, you have to say it out loud. That is the ultimate ownership, putting yourself out there to do it. I work with presentation excellence and have a lot of people who never presented doing that. And once they get up and do it, and then they realize, oh my God, I'm not so bad at this as I thought. And everyone else says, no, you're really, really good. Suddenly their whole life changes. So let's start off with pick one thing that excites you that hopefully after this, doesn't have to be tomorrow, it could be next year, the year after, whatever. You think I would really love to do that. Can I start with you, Kate?
Well, in our preschool, we always told children, and we tell our own children, that you can be anything you want to be. So I guess I would raise my hand and say that I would want to be a singer, but I know I could do anything in the world and I would never be a singer. So, we all have
But why not?
well, because I can't sing.
Okay.
So
It's a
I've been
new kind
told.
of singing. That's what it's all about. It's
Oh,
your
I've been
version.
told. I mean, I think I can sing, but I've been told I can't. So, sometimes I think we're held back by things that maybe we think we could be good at, but really maybe no matter how much we tried, maybe we couldn't be good at those things. So, I like to think about things that maybe I was good at, as Sharon points out in her podcast, Mom to More, that she's been talking about, that we have those skills and build on those things that we never thought would turn into that. As you were saying, I love to speak now to, moms and parents on parenting ideas that from my experiences in my preschool. And I never thought I would get up and be able to speak for 30 or 45 minutes.
Right.
So, I'm enjoying doing that. That's kind of my song.
I love your song, and I'm letting you know it's got nothing to do with tone, got nothing to do with the sound. It's the heart that makes
Right.
music for us, right?
Right.
And so if you're there and you've got it, and again, there are many people who have wanted to sing, they can't, but then they write the music. Okay, or they
True.
coordinate it and facilitate. Think of a conductor, doesn't
That's
play a single instrument, stands there with a baton. But look at the beautiful
Right.
music we get, right? So the
That's
point
true.
is, all of this is what can excite us in life, and that's really what it's about. And you put your
Yeah.
finger right on it. We grow up, and this was what Sharon started with limiting beliefs. I can't do this. Somebody once told me I can't do that. And the answer is maybe that minute that might even have been true. 50% of the time it's not, I'm telling you. But even if it was, that was a minute a long time ago, 842 years ago. Now you are where you are. Abolish, that's what Age Brilliantly is all about. Just eliminate, abolish every single restrictive, limiting belief and say, what excites me? What could I do? And how could I turn some variant of that into a future that's even more fulfilling than the wonderful life I already have? So I
And I
think
think it's just
great.
adding on to that wonderful life you've already had, right? Because you inside, there are so many skills that you have that you just don't realize. Kathleen, I would love to hear from you.
When I was young, I loved to write. And then as in the last several years, I've done elder care. And I've thought, I would love to know more about my parents' story. And it's like, what if I could write older people's stories so their family would have all this information that maybe they wouldn't have? And one of my daughters has actually really encouraged me to pursue that too.
Yes.
Right now, there's still a lot of fear that gets in the way of moving forward with that. I haven't written for a lot of years, and so it's like, trying to get back into it. And also I have all my doubts. It's like, well, you can order those books or whatever online that say, you know, a child and a parent will go back and forth and write their story together or whatever. And so maybe there's not a need. But I think there is. I think
There is.
to gain the trust of an older person and sit down with them and just really get to the heart of everything, I think takes
Mhm.
a lot of heart and time and everything. And I've got that.
So I have an idea for you, Kathleen. I love what you said. And I used to be a writer. I took many years off to raise my kids. And I went back and did a course at Kellogg, and I got back into writing. But I realized the voice that I had 20 years ago, my writing voice was still there. And so I have a voice when I write, and it didn't matter if it was there 20 years ago, it's still there now. And I guarantee you that your voice is still there now. I would suggest going to a senior living facility where you live and put yourself out there, do it for free for a couple of people, and ask if anyone would like to have their history documented. Start there, start small and local, because you've got this. You have that. So going to the senior living facility will be taking that step into the unknown. And once you make that step and contact someone there, the fear will dissipate. I guarantee that, because you know you have that talent. And I can tell from just your demeanor and your voice, you have the heart and you have the ability to do that. And I know that people are going to love that, because you're also getting the family history before someone is too old that they can't remember it and they can't communicate that. What a beautiful gift that would be for a family.
Thank you, Sharon.
Amen. That's
Amen.
beautiful.
Oh, I want to hear, like, you have to keep in
Let's
touch
go.
with me so
Okay,
we know
let's
what
keep
happens.
going down. I
Okay.
don't know who's on your next screen.
Who's
Sharon?
I see
Who's
Natalie, I see Mario. We want to have Mario or go on to Natalie? Mario, go ahead.
I'll go.
Okay.
I always wanted to be a food blogger. That's been a dream
Ah,
since I was like probably 12, 13. I want to just travel the world and eat all the delicious food that I can, talk about it, have an audience. I have a friend of mine who I was his third subscriber, and now he is literally traveling the world food blogging. He's like living the dream, and it's inspired me.
okay.
Something I definitely want to pursue at some point in my life.
So what is your baby step going to be to do that?
Just travel somewhere, put a crappy little camera in front of me, and just talk about something that I ate that day that I thought was nice that I can share with my.
And put it up on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Create a page that is all about food blogging
Yeah.
and just start sharing it, and have a blog, do Substack, do one of the blogging websites, and just start talking about it. The other thing you could do is, if you go to a hotel, you could blog about it. Obviously, you give them you could record something about a restaurant in a hotel on the Riviera, or wherever the heck you want to go. And then you would send that to them, and they would put that up on their Instagram site, tagging you. So you are giving them a good review, to their community. So there are ways for you to put things up on your Instagram site. For example, you collaborate, you tag them to collaborate. When they accept, it shows up on their site. So there are ways to slowly start getting. I love that idea, because I love to eat and I love to travel. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. All right, baby step. You know where you're headed.
Yep.
How about Natalie? Natalie, I know you've
Hi.
unmuted. Great. Hi, Natalie. Hi.
Yes, sorry, my camera won't connect.
No worries.
I suppose when I was younger, I did a lot of theater and acting, but I realized I didn't enjoy the acting as much as I enjoyed working with other people and helping people tell their stories. So over the past year, I've been working with local schools and visiting their theater classes and doing workshops with some of the kids about the best ways that they can tell their stories, and encouraging them that there's not just one way. They can write, they can direct a scene, they can design the lights for something. So I guess I would like to continue doing that and expand outward throughout the years.
I love that. I have not heard that before. Natalie, congratulations. I think that is, it's a real think outside of the box idea. So I applaud you for that.
That's
And keep doing that. I really look forward to hearing how everyone is going to start manifesting their next chapter in life. Myra, bottom left.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I'm 88 and a half years old, and I've always loved children. And my greatest joy for 66 out of those 88 years was raising our children, and who in turn raised their children. And it was raising them by guiding them into what they really wanted to do and what their talents were. And I'm very proud of you, Sharon, because you're one of my children. And Stephanie is another one. And I think that each of you have, and your third sister, have all gone the way you wanted to go because you were taught to use your own desires to guide you.
And thank you for that. Thank you for that. And what about you? Is there something that you want to do over the next 5 years?
You know what? Don't laugh. Just stay alive and healthy, because I am, because that to me is so important, because I think I've done everything else. I think I've contributed, along with my husband, who's no longer here. We've contributed to the growth of 3 very talented daughters doing what they want to do in life, and their children doing what they want to do in life because of the way their parents were raised. And that to me is like earning one of the highest medals in
The Purple Heart. Yeah.
The purple. That to me is
Yeah.
the Purple Heart. Thank you.
The Purple Heart. Thank you
Yes.
for that. Stephanie, how about you? What is your next chapter looking like? What would you love to do?
Well, I will tell you what I got from today, which I thought was pretty powerful that I didn't anticipate, is that I have been health coaching, nutritional health coaching, which has been a passion of mine for many years, and started out just being a vitamin rep. And then I just got a certification. And after I got the certification, and I never had this before, all of a sudden this like fear erupted, like, wait a minute. I don't really know how to understand everything and put it all together. And what I got from today was that is debilitating. That is nonsense. Get rid of that, negative self-taught. I know just as much as anybody. And like you said, one step forward. And I've got all these clients and they're waiting for me to help them. And
Whoop, lost her.
Yep, that was
Oh
excellent.
no. Oh no, we lost her, but that was great. And I'll also talk about imposter syndrome, right? We all have it. We all think, Stephanie, you logged off there for a moment. You still there? But everyone has imposter syndrome. Kay, I'm sure the first time you got up and talked in public, you have that, but that's one of the things you just kind of go, what Stephanie just said, which was brilliant. I have that skill. I know I can do it. Kathleen's like, I know I love writing. I know I can do this. And having that just belief in your heart that no matter what, you're pushing boundaries, and every little boundary that you push, it just gets easier and easier to do that as you go along. These have been fabulous, guys. Thank you so much. There's a Zoom user. I don't know who that would be. Thank you for that. Super inspiring, guys. Super inspiring. I want to go back quickly and finish this up because I do have a little bit of a wrap up as we're ending. We talked about empowering. Okay, you want to take on the identity of what you want to do. You want to go to that senior living facility. You want to start talking to people, and you want to start writing about their histories. Be methodical about it. Move forward with small daily tasks and steps, and make it more empowering. And this is simply what we've just talked about. Doing that, and I want to share a quote with you, which I absolutely love. Are you familiar with James Clear? He is the New York Times bestselling author of Atomic Habits. And he says, if you can master the art of showing up If you can continue to build the consistency for 1 week, then 1 month, then 6 months, 2 years later, and I say maybe a year later, you will have the results that you are looking for. When dreaming or making plans, think big. When executing, think small. Okay? And again, opportunity action plan, which we've been over this. I'll do it super quickly. Identify, choose an opportunity you want to act upon. We've all done that. Clarify, what does success look like for the opportunity that you just identified? And then simplify it, breaking it into those baby steps, and reverse engineering it, right? What can I do today or this week and next month? And again, these can be changed. Nothing's set in stone, but there's simply a path forward, and empower yourself. Hold yourself accountable, tell a friend, set a reminder. And if you're a woman with any lipstick, write it on your mirror, preferably in lipstick. Those are ways that will help you, empower you to get to where you're going. And I'll finish up by saying, there is no finish line. You can reinvent in any season of life. All of our lived experiences are a goldmine of skill building and talent creation. And I want to challenge all of you to stay proactive about seeking opportunities with the many concepts and ideas that we have talked about today. And I'm going to leave you with this. In 2025, I will find opportunity in, complete that sentence and take that home with you. And if anyone wants to share, I think we've all talked about various opportunities, things we're interested in doing. But if you have this, if you write it down, if you tape it onto your mirror, that will be your daily reminder and a step forward in what you want to do. And I want a funny shot of me. This was my reinvention. This was podcasting, and I get so much joy out of it. And I would love to invite all of you to join me. This is how to stay in touch with me. Momtomore.com is my website. Everything is on there. The podcast, about me, resources, you name it, it's all on there. I would also like to offer everyone on this call a free 20-minute one-on-one session where we could talk further, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it ends up being, where we can talk a little further about what we've already discussed today, so you can continue on with your next step. So I invite everyone to follow the podcast. It's all over the place. Everything is on momtomore.com. You can sign up for the community. Please reach out to me at sharon@momtomore.com to arrange for our one-on-one session. And that's pretty much it as we wind up the hour.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me try to bring this to a conclusion for all of you. First of all, you did not know that, Sharon, and I did not know that, but you and I make great bookends for this week and next week. Because next week I am pioneering a new program and something we're going to probably do in the spring series, having more of what I call roundtable conversations. And the topic is the entrepreneur opportunity. So every one of you, no exceptions here, are now entrepreneurs, carving out a new territory to do what you want to do. Okay, it's about your lifestyle. It doesn't have to be about business. It could be nonprofit. It could be caring for other people in any way. And since I'm a serial entrepreneur, someone had said, why don't you just open it up like a clinic and let everybody say, I'm thinking of doing this. I want to do that. I tried this and it didn't work, and just go through it. So instead of a full 1 hour presentation, and when you come to my other ones on fulfillment and thrive and legacy, I fill the entire hour. This will be only a few minutes to kind of get us on a baseline. And then you're in charge, not me. And if not, I'll go home early, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think I'm going to have this long list because you all have great dreams, but knowing how to execute them is hard. And we don't learn that anywhere else. In fact, the place we learn it, which is why I invited Sharon here in the first place, is when I heard about her and what she's doing, I'm saying, we learn everything at home. I'm a psychologist. And one of the early things I learned on is the approach to doing group work is actually family work. How does the family as a group work together? Myra knows that. She's done that. Okay. And so realizing that link is there, We need to be able to figure out where we can go and what to do. And that's the purpose of this program, is to give it to you. I also want to leave you with the very first session I did, an idea for all of you. And Myra, I'm going to focus on you because you were generous enough to share your age. And I want you to know we have a concept at Age Brilliantly called, it's called an up age, which means instead of looking backwards, which is something we try not to spend too much time doing, because that's not going to help you when you're driving, to look in your rearview mirror. What you need to do is look forward, what's in front of you and what's to your sides, etc. And so as we look forward, how much time have we got? So if we all know that given everything that's happening in life right now, there's a good chance all of us could live to 100. Then Myra, you're 12. I have a grandson who's about 4 months old, and he's wearing a t-shirt and saying, my op age is 100.
And I look forward to great-grandchildren and being able to help my grandchildren with them. And that's the legacy. The children of the world, they're the legacy.
I agree. And more than that, you should attend my next session on legacy.
I'd love to.
It's not about leaving a legacy, it's about living it.
You've right.
lived it all your life. I can see that by listening to you and you're talking. Okay. And I know for the same thing for me. I don't know if you have grandchildren yet who are 12, but I want you to think about it. If you have or did, what you could do with them for the next 88 years that you've gone through already. Look at all that wisdom, all that experience that you can lend them to. But the number one thing that children want is to have role models. So don't give up. Don't think, well, I've done 88 years. That's great. It is. But what's important is I got 12 more years on this tire and I'm going to keep going, and you will be a role model. You will influence your grandchildren and they will then influence their children. So one of the things I make a point at Age Brilliantly of making people think is we live in what's called a 200-year window. From the minute we're born, there's about 50 to 75 years in front of us. Our parents, our grandparents, they're the ones who set the rules and the limitations. You know, you can't go out of a certain boundary because that's what happened when you had a horse and a buggy and you couldn't go very far. And we will do the same with our grandchildren, who, as they now have children, we're going to say, what do you mean car drive? I just say, could give it commands and it does all the work for me. Remember, you can have Ubers that have no drivers. That's the world we're moving into. Share that opportunity, share that excitement so our children don't have it. And the last part I'll leave you with is fear. I'm into a lot of acronyms that work just like Sharon is. It's one of our bonds. And fear is a great one. It means false evidence appearing real. We look at things that happened in our past or to other people, and we assume that's going to happen. It's false evidence. It just appears real, but that's why you're an Age Brilliantly mindset. You begin to say, well, I don't have to go by that rule. And also never worry about failing at anything. And I think, Kay, that's what I want to, you're going to be a great singer, because do you know what fail means? First attempt in learning. So just keep going at it. And with that, I want to thank you all for being here. You've been great. Sharon, did I tell you you're going to have a great group? I told you.
You're right. You guys were terrific. And Kathleen, please, I put my email in the chat. Please reach out to me. I'd love to chat with you further. I love, love, love your idea. Mario, yours as well. Natalie,
So you all have to come back next week so that we can talk about how to actually do it, because that's my special gift.
Well, keep me on your list.
An idea and turn it. Excuse me?
Keep me on your list.
I will definitely do that. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much.
Everyone have a great week. And remember, tomorrow morning when you wake up, and you should do this every morning, just start off and saying, what am I excited for today? And find something to excite you. And that'll help you through the whole day, the whole week, the whole month, the whole year, and a couple of centuries while you're at it.
There you go.
Have a great one, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.